Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. There, that's Rock and Roll Spot Connection, and in honor of the upcoming release of Avengers Endgame, today we'll be looking at my 10 favorite Avengers of all time. Now, a few things. First off, this is not. If I at some point I may or already may have done a 10 greatest Avengers list. This is different from that. 10 greatest Avengers you would also have would be based upon, okay, well, character X, because of these achievements and these things done in these stories, this is why I think this character is, one of the 10 greatest. This is just my opinion of the 10 that I like the most. Furthermore, it's my opinion. Plain and simple. Just opinions. I mean, yes, it's opinions based on things like comic book appearances, movie appearances, and so forth. But it's still my opinion. That's all. So disagree if you want, whatever. In fact, hey, if you want to make your own list of your 10 favorite Avengers, put them in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Next up, the list is pulled from basically those who are primarily seen as being members of the Avengers, not characters who are known for either their own solo gig or their own or being part of a different team. Now, some Avengers have been a part of multiple teams and are known fairly well for being part of that other team, but primarily they are known as being an Avenger. Also, being an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not the same as being a member of a team. So, if a character is known largely as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., well, if they're also known largely as an Avenger, then yeah, it works out. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good place to. That's a good way to good way to get through the preliminaries. So, the list. Starting number 10, we got Iron Man. So, all my life I've been told I'm smart. So I like to think that I am smart. I'm not Tony Stark smart. I am nowhere near that smart. I don't have the patience to be that smart. Anyway, but I like characters like Tony Stark and characters who say, "Hey, I'm going to build this thing and either A, do heroics, or B, do crimes with it." I like that. I actually really like that. It's someone who said, "I'm going to do," it's it's using your own, what you've got to do stuff and to do, go one way or the other, and intelligence especially. Wow, that was muddled. Anyway, what I don't like about Iron Man, why he makes the bottom of the list, is arrogance. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You're smart. You're rich. Doesn't mean that you're better than everybody. Now, concerning the rich part, I actually appreciate the fact that he funded the Avengers for a good long while through a charity. I believe it's the Martha Stark Foundation. Yeah, a charitable foundation named after his mother. Next up, we've got Ant-Man, Scott Lang, to be exact, as there have been 3 different Ant-Mans. But so Ant-Man, it's the whole redemption arc. He started off as a thief, hired to infiltrate the Fantastic Four and steal stuff from them, and also being blackmailed because his daughter. So he did it for his daughter, but of course he got found out. The FF helped him. Eventually, he joined the Avengers, and yeah, and he's honestly been a stand-up guy. And I'll be honest, when I got into to reading the Avengers, it was pretty much the issue where he died. He has since come back. But yeah, and to be fair, a lot of what I like about the character comes from his appearances in the MCU as well. But yeah, a lot of it is just, like I said, the redemption arc. And since redeeming himself years ago, he has made a point of, being a stand-up guy. So yeah, I mean, so yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got Thor. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't read Thor's solo book too often, as regular viewers of my weekly comic book roundup can attest. I like the character. And this is the same goes for Iron Man. I like him. I like both of them in the context of being Avengers. I think that Thor lends a mythological quality to the team, though. That's what I really like about the character. And yes, I think it helps that he is, pulled from mythology. But yeah, anyway. Next up, Carol Danvers. Okay, my affinity for the character largely comes from her appearances post Civil War in her solo book. Yeah, I didn't like that she was pro registration, but I liked where that was go. This was back when she was going by Miss Marvel. I liked where things were going there. I also liked her appearances in House of M, both during it and in the miniseries that have come out since to kind of flesh out that timeline. I like the idea, she got to see herself as being one of the biggest heroes in the world, and so then decided, you know what? I'm going to try and do that. Rather than just say, oh, that's just a pipe dream. No, she said out, like, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to try and be one of the greatest heroes in the world. And I feel like over the course of her journey, her perspective is largely just, still okay, everything, nothing seems to truly phase her. It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, moving on. Now, I will admit, I disagree with her standpoint on superhero registration as well as her standpoint in Civil War II, which was she was all for basically pre-crime. I think if a crime hasn't been committed, you can't arrest someone who might commit that crime. So, yeah. Anyway. But, yeah. Carol Danvers. And finally, I also do think she is a capable leader. And, if anything, that has been shown more than a few times in various books, be it her own solo books, various Avengers titles. Yeah. Next up, we've got War Machine. So I like War Machine because what I like about War Machine especially is he is pretty much a second generation hero, sidekick or replacement type hero who has gone on to be his own thing. Sure, he still has to go to Tony Stark for armor. Hey, so there's a weird noise coming out of the shoulder joint when I bend it, so you want to take a look at that right quick? But, and Rhodes has been a lot more than that. I mean, during the Decimation arc for the X-Men books, he led the Office of National Emergencies Sentinel Squad, which these Sentinels were basically they were mech suits that looked like Sentinels. And to be fair, that was a really insensitive move on the ONE's part, because You show up at the X Mansion with Sentinels. Yeah, the fact that they weren't just flat out destroyed right off the bat is a shocker. They still ended up getting destroyed, but that was different. Happened later on and for different reasons. But yeah, and hell, he even augmented the armor with non-Stark related stuff, which was shown in largely in Secret Invasion, because that was how he managed to survive Stark Tech getting bombed by the Skrulls. So yeah, War Machine. Moving on to the Wasp. So the Wasp was one of those characters that I knew even before I got into the Avengers. I knew who she was. I was well aware of who the Wasp was, and also a great deal of what she brought to the team. One, a sense of fashion. Two, a sense of heart. And it's odd to see an Avengers lineup that doesn't have her, at least tangentially involved. I'm pretty sure I bungled that word, but whatever. And in fact, Jason Aaron's current run has her as an agent of Wakanda, so close enough. I mean, if anything, she's always a reserve Avenger. Next up, we've got Black Widow. Now, okay, Black Widow is a classic Avenger, but she's a different kind of Avenger to me, because the rest of the team, they are all yes, let's do this, and we're in the light. Natasha, no, let's go to the shadows. Let's do this for the shadows. That's why, in fact, when Secret Avengers was first started up during in the aftermath of the siege and whatnot, I felt she was a perfect addition to the team, because that is exactly who she is. She's a spy, an assassin. How do you, yeah, I mean, that's her shtick. Having her as out in the light is just doesn't entirely work. I mean, both the comics and the movies have made it work, but it's still just kind of this is not how it's supposed to normally be. But yeah, anyways, like I said, I like her because, like I said, she's a different kind of Avenger. Next up, we got Hercules, who brings the same mythological air that Thor does, but also brings, to be honest, a sense of fun. And even, yes, a lot of it was during his hard drinking days, but even now, in the aftermath of No Surrender and No Road Home, he still brought that same degree of fun, even with having quit drinking. So that's why I like him. That's why he's one of my favorites as well. And he seemed a lot more. Compared to Thor, he's always seemed a lot more relatable. Plus, I mean, yeah, his adventures largely are Avengers adventures. Yes, there have been solo books. He has been on other teams, but mostly he's primarily been an Avenger. Next up, number 3, we've got number 2. Oh God, we're all the way up to number 2. Captain America, because he's Cap. I mean, what else do you say there? Cap's Cap. And of the big 3, he's the only one that whose solo adventures I go for, because he's, like I said, he's Cap. And finally, number 1 on the list, Hawkeye. Yeah, I know, he's the guy with the bow and arrows. Why, he shouldn't be an Avenger, but he is. Now, there are various reasons why I love him. One, I'm a terrible marksman, so I do have an affinity for marksman characters. I also, especially when I was younger, liked his anti-authoritarian attitude, which I mean he still has, but it's changed because times have changed. So yeah, and but mostly what I like was the fact that he is just a regular guy with a bow and arrow, fighting alongside gods, aliens, and various power or augmented humans, and doing so as an equal. Again, one of the first that when I really got into Avengers, like hardcore, was Avengers 500, and three issues later, 2 or 3 issues later, he's fighting Kree soldiers on the lawn of the Avengers mansion, and bum rushes one because an explosive arrow in his quiver has gotten shot, has started to burn up. But he bum rushes a Kree soldier with a jetpack, activates it, and flies the two of them right into a friggin' Kree warship. How cool is that? And I was actually glad when they brought him back because I didn't want an Avengers, I didn't want a Marvel universe without Hawkeye, and yeah, for a while he was Ronin, but eventually he went back to being Hawkeye. And but yeah, so yeah, that's my top 10, my 10 favorite Avengers. Like I said, agree or disagree, that fine. Uh, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Tell me who your favorite Avengers are in the comments. I'd love to hear. I'd love to see. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put new content. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.